Hi, welcome to Baby Adventure. This is the starter motor of Yezdi Adventure and that is the breather pipe. In this video, we will learn how to access the starter motor and what are the parts to be removed and why to remove. This video will be long lengthy video. It comes under follow along section because it clears lot of confusions why that part is removed, is it necessary to remove or not, I am stuck here, what to do next. So all these problems, all these questions are solved by doing a follow along video so that the same steps are repeated so that it will be easy, the technique is followed. As the starter motor plays a crucial role in starting the bike, unless the starter motor starts, you won't able to move, you get stranded somewhere and it will be very difficult to tow this big bike. So let's dive into the video. In order to access the starter motor, we have to remove the starter motor cover. There are a lot of things that comes in way, so we have to remove a lot. We come from the LH side. On the LH side, we remove the LH panels for ease of access. We might remove the seat too, but here in the video I didn't remove. And after removing the LH panels, we will remove the flasher relay which comes in a way of the air resonator. So that is the air resonator. We remove the 10 bolt of the air resonator. It has two bolts, one on the either side. Then we will go into the sensor cover. Removing all these parts are essential to easily remove the starter motor cover. I removed the sensor cover on LH side. I removed the cool and temperature sensor connector in order to remove the sensor cover holders on the either side, else it will obstruct the removal of the starter motor cover. So I removed it, and that is the IACV here. I removed the IACV connector too, and this is the air resonator, and we need to remove the coolant temperature sensor too, and I removed the bolt, Allen key bolt of the starter motor cover on the LH side. So that is the coolant temperature sensor we have to remove next, and that is the air resonator. We will go to the RH side and remove the RH panels too for further more progress. So we have to remove the rectifier, and there is a 10 bolt on the RH side of the air resonator. We have to remove it in order to create some gap for that starter motor cover to lift it up. We will remove the rectifier in order to access the breather pipe. The rectifier has two 10 bolts. We will remove them. And this video is a follow along video rather than my voiceover. Just look the video and follow it and catch the reasons why I removed it. So here we have a cable tie connected to the brake cables. This obstructs the starter motor cover, so we removed it. And I removed the battery terminals. So we are removing a lot of parts. So for reducing the risk here, I am removing the battery so that it will be easier for me to disconnect any sensors. So I am disconnecting the rectifier connector. The rectifier connector is connected to the alternator 3-phase here that comes from the starter motor slot there. You will get to know in the later part of the video. I am removing the rollover sensor connector too in order to remove the that frame that holds the battery. So I am removing the battery for safety. Removing the battery is a very good step here because we are removing a lot of sensors, connectors, so there won't be any short. So we have to remove the clutch cable too. On the RH side, we loosen the bolt, nut, and we have to press it outward so that it will be easily ejected from the slot. We can use a screwdriver. The slot is narrower at the end, so we have to push it with the screwdriver. So now that the clutch cable came out, so we will remove that Allen key bolts on the RH side of the starter motor cover. So all these steps are crucial. Just follow the video and know the reason why and replicate it if your bike starter motor doesn't work to check. or replace the self carbons of the starter motor. I loosen the hose clamps of the manifold of throttle body as they obstruct the vertical movement of the starter motor cover. Do not forget to retighten it again while we assemble. So this is the breather pipe. There is a clip or circlip kind of thing. We need to use a long handle cutting plier to press it out and eject it out or pull it out. So this breather pipe comes from the slot of the starter motor cover. And 3 more wires, that is starter motor positive and starter motor negative, and magnet coil and pulse coil wires. These wires are so thick and there is a rubber. So tool of the day is this long screwdriver here. This helped me a lot in removing a lot of things, a lot of pipes kind of rubber kind of things in this video or in this process. So this is the clip I am talking about. So this holds the breather pipe onto the air filter box. So we have removed a lot of things on the RH side, and we will go to the LH side. So this is how it looks after removing the battery, and we came to the LH side, and this is the hose clamp plier, another tool that is very important in this process. We use the hose clamp plier to open the air resonator clamp and remove it. So now half of the part is done, the major part is yet remaining here. Now that the starter motor cover is loose, but it won't come that easily. So the main villain here, or main hero, whatever you call, which holds the wires, breather pipe and starter motor cover, not letting it out, is that rubber. For that to remove, we have to remove the coolant temperature sensor, which will eject some coolant out. But never mind, we can refill it out, top up it out. So you need ring 16 to remove the coolant temperature sensor. So some coolant will come out as you move the bike or push the bike due to the pressure. So that is the starter motor, the appearance here. So we cannot move it as it obstructs the vertical movement and horizontal movement. We have to slide the starter motor cover onto the right, because there is a timing chain tensioner on the right. It won't let you slide it to the left. So there is a breather pipe that is connected to the breather valve with a hose clamp. Again, that hose clamp plier will be very useful here in order to remove the clamp. So we remove the hose clamp and pull the breather pipe out from the rubber. So having that hose clamp plier will be very useful in dealing with these clamps, which are very tight, cannot be pressed with fingers or cutting plier. We can press with cutting plier, but this plier will hold it in position so that we can work on some other things like pulling the pipe, etc. So it has a ratchet mechanism. That is also called Geneva mechanism mechanically. So I use the plier to press the clamp and pull it up, which loosens the stiffness on the breather valve of the breather pipe. So now I can eject the pipe out from the breather valve hose pipe. So that is how it looks inside. As I said earlier, this is a follow along video, so every step will be shown, so the video will be long. You can fast forward it if necessary. So it holds the clamp in position. This is the mechanism I am talking about, the hose clamp plier. With the help of the clamp, I am pushing the breather pipe upwards so that it will be ejected out of the breather valve. So it is also called crankcase breather pipe or breather valve. Yeah. The excess blown gas will be pushed into this breather pipe that is collected to the air box, which won't let those chemicals freely flow into the atmosphere. Air filter blocks them. So here comes the major part of the video, this rubber. So we have to discover some mechanism or technique to remove this rubber. This is the second time I am removing this starter motor cover. Earlier this video I have removed with the help of a friend. I used another method, but after removing it twice I discovered that there is some easy other method. So as I said earlier, the tool of the day is long screwdriver. That long screwdriver played a major role in removing this rubber. So we have to pry the rubber out. As my bike is old, I am afraid that it might break as the rubber might become hard. So if your bike is new, it might be soft and flexible. You can pry it out easily. The easiest step is to remove the hose clamp pipe, breather pipe hose clamp, and pull the what's called breather pipe out. So here I am prying the rubber out. So on the top the section is narrower. So if we pull the breather, if we remove the rubber down, if you push the rubber down, and we can access the breather pipe. And after removing the hose clamp on the breather pipe, we can eject the breather pipe out. So just follow the video. It will be very informative rather than my voice here. So here the tool of the day, long screwdriver, is used here. Here is the engineering techniques here. The upper hole has a left-handed slot, open-ended. That bottom hole has a right-handed slot, open-ended. So this is engineering for a reason. But unless you know the right technique to remove, it will be a very difficult job because you push against the rubber elasticity and firmness. So for that remove, as I said earlier, I have to remove that hose clamp on the breather pipe using the hose clamp plier. This is the discovery we will get to know while we access them or while we work on the bike. So this hose clamp plier plays a major role along with that long screwdriver. If there is no hose clamp plier, we won't be able to remove this easily because that clamp is so tight we cannot press with the fingers. Even with the cutting plier we can't hold it down. So I remove the hose clamp on the breather pipe. So now that we pried the rubber, we can easily remove the breather pipe out like this. So this voiceover will be wrong. I am sorry if it is bad, but it is a pretty long video. So I am just following along the video, letting you know what I have done here. So this is the method we have to do. Using the screwdriver, we slowly pry the rubber out. You might have noticed the breather pipe ejection while I pry the open end of the top hole because we have to remove the breather pipe. Same as that, we have to pry the open end on the bottom here. We have three wires. These are too tight and too thick too. As these wires come from magnet coil and two wires come from the starter motor here, positive and negative. These are so thick and so tight, there is very less free play. We have to push the rubber bottom downwards, and take a help of a person is very necessary here. Taking help of a person is very necessary because we have to do two motions here. One is to push the rubber downwards and open the slot on the bottom, and one is to pull the wires out of the slot so that it makes way the rubber coming out. So here I pried the rubber a little bit and push the bottom of the rubber to slide the wire out. So you can see in the video, you can follow the screwdriver where that is accessing the rubber. So here I am pushing the open end of the bottom so that the wires will come out of that rubber. and the rubber will free that, so that I can remove the starter motor cover. So out of all those steps, this is the crucial step, and we need to know the right technique in order to remove this rubber, else we might break the rubber. It won't be of no use. It is so engineered that it snugly fits onto the slot, onto the engine, and onto the wires and the breather pipe too. So while doing these processes with rubber and some kind of smooth and hard materials, we need some mechanical grit or experience. We need to know how much pressure to put, and that comes out of experience. So sometimes you might feel, for the first time even I felt that the rubber might break. As I said earlier, my bike is older, the rubber gets hard when it has a long time, when it has passed long time. So here you can see me pushing the rubber down after separating the wires from the slot. So you can see a long large gap happen on the slot of the starter motor cover. So I finally won against the rubber. I removed the rubber, and now I will slide the starter motor cover onto the right. So as I said earlier, we have to remove the cable tie on the brake cables that will obstruct the smooth flow of the starter motor cover. We have to use a screwdriver to press the wires down so that we can remove the starter motor cover. The clutch yoke also will come in middle. We have to press it out so that we can remove the starter motor cover. That is the starter motor. So finally we access the starter motor, and this is the breather pipe. It is connected to the breather wall or the crankcase. That is how it connected with the hose clamp, and we have to remove the hose clamp and remove the breather pipe out of the hole. And that is the starter motor. The wire, this is the wire comes from the magnet coil, and it has a magnet coil, 3 phase wires, and one wire the pulse coil, which is useful in igniting the spark here. And this is how it sits. This rubber sits on 3 wires, sits on the engine and connected to the 3 wires. So there is a groove at the bottom that obstructs the vertical flow of the vertical movement of this starter motor cover. So that is a slot at the bottom. We have to separate it. So that is how it is placed. We have to carefully remove, else that ridges will break and it won't sit onto the slot. So if your starter motor is dead, if your bike is not running after relay click sound, we have to remove like this and put everything apart from the starter motor cover and self the bike and measure the voltage here. This is the timing chain tensioner. Any free play or any problem in the timing chain tensioner, here is what to access. So this is the breather pipe at the airbox slot, and this is the starter motor ground that is connected to the chassis ground. Sometimes even if this ground is rusted, proper ground is not given to the starter motor and it won't start, and the positive comes from the starter motor relay. So we have to remove this red one to access the voltage, to measure with the multimeter to see whether starter motor is getting 12 volts or not. Even that can be measured at the self relay too. So starter motor wires rarely fail. So that is why the rubber is given, so that there won't be any moisture or something kind of dust. So this is how the slot fits into the starter motor cover. So after removing it, I discovered that we can easily pull or push that breather pipe in without praying it. So as I said earlier, doing multiple repetitions, we will get to discover some easy techniques. So as of now, I discovered that it is an easy step to remove the breather pipe out and to pull the wires and put the wires too. So what I identified is we will put the wires first in the slot on the bottom hole, then we pray it or push it like a hammer into the slot, then later on we pull the breather we put the breather pipe into the top hole, and later on we will clamp it to the breather wall. So that is how it looks. So I am replacing it back again, so reassembling it. So that is the reason we have to loosen lot of things, we have to remove lot of things. So as I said earlier, the throttle body hose clamps also has to be removed. This is the thing I am telling about. This has to be loosened so that it won't obstruct the starter motor cover. So engineers play on a major precision as the only design, but coming to the workshop, mechanics technicians has to understand the technique how to remove and put it back again. So this is the reason I have decided to put the follow along video, because just saying like that won't help you out, because it is lot about feeling that pressure and feeling that thing to remove the parts here. It's less on tools, more on the person who does it. So as I said in the earlier part of the video, I put the bottom slot onto the 3 wires. Now I will use the tool of the day, long screwdriver and hose clamp pliers here. I use the long screwdriver, and see here I have put that rubber onto the 3 wires on the bottom slot. I will use this long screwdriver and put some pressure on the ridge and push it inwards, hitting like a hammer on the head of the screw. So it is more of a mechanical grit here and experience. You know that rubber is not that hard and brittle. You can use this step, or else we can use some soap solution so that it freely slides in. But here I decided to hit it with the screwdriver. If you have a help of a person here, it will be very useful and the job will be easier. As I already removed with the help of a person or my friend earlier on, so I tried alone whether to know whether I can do it alone or not. So I inserted on the top portion of the rubber, as it has a narrow end and open slot, it went in. So you can observe the screwdriver movement here. I will push it like hitting the nail with the hammer. You will get the impact pulses inward, so that the ridge goes into the slot. If the ridge of the rubber goes into the slot, it's half work done. So here is the movement. So I am trying to pry it inside. So I'll push it inwards, hitting like a hammer with the hand. So it went in. So that is how you follow all the ridge and put it inward. As I said earlier, the tool of the day is this long screwdriver. It helped me a lot in removing this rubber, else it will be very difficult for me to remove that rubber out. I would have broken that rubber, split it in half, etc. So these rubber kind of things requires right technique, else you won't be able to remove this rubber. The name rubber might feel soft at initial, but on mechanical toughness, those are stiff with the time, those are hard whatsoever. This creates a lot of problems in the motorcycle, these rubbers. Either it might be on the kick rod, etc. So I have used the same technique on the other end, pushing the screwdriver onto the rubber ridges and hitting it like a hammer with the hand. For your understanding, I hit the screwdriver head with the hand so that the ridges goes in, and pried it inside, pushed it inside. So as I discovered earlier, as I said, while isolating the starter motor cover and the rubber, so this is the easy step. After removing the breather pipe, I got to know the breather pipe is flexible, so I am using this technique. to put the breather pipe in the hole and slide it in. It made job easier knowing the right technique. Else it would be very difficult to put the breather pipe in. We have to pry that rubber out again. We have to do like earlier step. So I slided the breather pipe in, taken care that right end is on the breather valve side. So now comes the second tool of the day, the important tool, that is hose clamp player. The difference between the hose clamp player and cutting player is it holds the hose clamp in the exact position where you want to. So I want the hose clamp to be open, so that I put it and push the pipe into it, and after putting it I use the same hose clamp and my hand to put the pipe onto the breather valve, and I use the hose clamp again to hold the clamp onto the breather valve pipe which sits on the breather valve. So that is to finally access the starter motor and put the starter motor cover along with the wires, rubber and breather pipe back again. And here comes one more critical thing, the rubber has a groove or C groove or U groove on the bottom that has to be fixed. For that to be fixed, we have to tighten the vertical movement of the starter motor cover. Take care that it sits exactly where it has to be. So before proceeding to this, we have to take few photographs of exact positions of the parts. So here I am playing with again the tool of the day, long screwdriver. It might get an award, but it is a ridiculous job. So I pried it down and use the wires. This is the groove I am talking about. This sits on the engine casing and it won't let the rubber fall down. So after pushing with the screwdriver the wires up like this, it filled the gap of the slot and it sat on the engine casing, that curve of the rubber. So finally it is done, the rubber sat. So I started assembling back again the parts I removed, reassembling it. So I started putting the coolant temperature sensor and bolts of the bolts of the starter motor cover. So again the hose clamp will be useful here if you are working alone. So see, I hold it open and left the clamp, it hold like a ratchet or Geneva mechanism. So this is the right method to put the air resonator in, else it will be very difficult to slide it afterwards. While putting the air resonator, one more tip is that take care that the plastic will come onto the frame of the motorcycle on both sides, LH side and RH side too. Else the plastic might slide inwards on the RH side of the frame, which results in different alignment. Take care that alignment is very good, else it won't fit in. So this is the useful nature of those clamp player here. It will cost very less, 200 300 so. So I'm tightening the bolts, tightening the coolant temperature sensor. I'm fitting the flasher relay back again and ISCV connected to later. And now here comes the other one too. This is the bolt of the air resonator I'm talking about. Take care that it comes onto the frame of the bike. It is a 10 mm bolt. And now we have the breather pipe and clutch wire remaining apart from the battery and panels, sensor covers too. So I fit them. So this is the important step, not to forget to tighten the clamps of the manifold, else there will be a vacuum loss and your bike won't run smoothly. So I inserted the clip of the breather pipe and using the cutting pair and tool of the day, long screwdriver, I am inserted the circle clip onto the breather pipe. So this is about accessing the starter motor of Yezdi Adventure. So it took a long time for me to access the starter motor. So if you like the video, please like, share and subscribe and share to the fellow riders. as a starter motor plays a very crucial role in starting the bike and not letting you go. So this video might be very useful. So there are more information videos about Yezdi Adventure in this channel. If you like the video, please do follow and subscribe and check other videos too. There is a lot of information stuff on this channel about Yezdi Adventure DIY. So putting the things back again is very important step. So we have to take photos. So that is about this video. If you like, please like, share and subscribe. Don't forget to check other videos. Thank you.